If you want to see me create another look using the Lancôme Blockbuster Set for 2021, then stick around. Hi there, it's Hélène and welcome back, or if it's your first time, welcome to HMM Makeup, or Makeup. I'm excited to actually go into this little palette a third time to create another look. I have done, if I can just open up this palette, I have done a very pink look. That was look number 2 that I just did not too long ago. I'll put that video right there. And I have also done a look primarily with these two here. And what I want to do today is use these three. This one only as blush, and then this one as highlighter, and this one as bronzer, and then finally these two to create the eye look. So that is my plan today. And I think that with this third look, that you will have pretty much the variety that I can see happening with this quad. And I think I'll be able to do a look that's quite different again with this quad compared to the other two that I've done. All right, so the first thing that I want to do is take care of my face because I'm quite white looking right now. It's like a blank canvas. So I want to use these guys. So this as a bronzer and then this one as a highlighter to just give a little bit more dimension to my face. I did use 2 cream products. I used a contour product from Tarte and I used the highlighting product from Cover FX called Moonlight. It's a cream highlighter, so a cream contour and a cream highlighter, just to put something on my face. And of course I have my eyebrows done because there's no eyebrow product in the Lancome set. And that's purely eyeshadow from my Pan That palette, which I can put the video, the latest one right there. Yeah, let's get started. I'll just zip it and start applying. For bronzer, I'm going to use this brush, which I think is a Morphe brush, Morphe E3. I really like it. I have no problem with it whatsoever. So I'm going into the bronzer in this palette. Put some on here already. I'm going in the hollow of the cheek and working my way up. It's a very light bronzer. It does not have a huge amount of color to it. I don't usually go twice in the same spot for a bronzer, but apparently I need to. And I did not powder my face, so it's still a little bit tacky, and even that, it's not getting the bronzer on the skin so much. So if you're relatively fair, you don't have to worry about this bronzer being overkill. And given it's quite light, I'm going to go higher up on the cheek. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Kind of like my skin, but better to a certain extent. And I like it enough that I'm going to take some more and go on the forehead as well. Give myself a little bit more color because right now there is 0 sunlight to be had, pretty much. Oh, and I should mention that I do have one eyeshadow from my Pan That palette. It's a taupe eyeshadow, and not a big deal. I just like to come on camera with one eyeshadow because otherwise I look ghostly when I get on camera. And so now I'm ready to cover that up, and I do want to go in with this color again. But I'm going to use this fluffy brush from Quo to pick up the bronzing powder. So I've loaded up the brush quite a bit, and let's see what it does on the eye. I'm expecting there won't be much difference between what I have on now and when I have the bronzer on the eyelid completely. We will see. It does look, it's definitely more caramel color than what I had on before. And that is what I was counting on. And I go all the way up to the brow. Just based on my eye shape, it seems to work well for me. I'm not going to say that that's something that everyone should do. You have to complement your own eye shape. Oh, and I did put on a brow bone highlight because if you look at the second look that I created, I put this highlighter on the brow bone, and for my skin tone, it did not look good. I ended up using it on the inner to 2/3 of the lid, but it was not flattering on my brow. So I covered it up with something else. Okay, talk about this is really my eye but better. It's very flattering, just adding a little bit more bronzer here. Very flattering, and to the point where I want to go with 2 more brushes, one to intensify the brown on the upper lid and also to bring it onto the outer lower lid. Let's take care of the outer lower lid first. I'm going to use my trusty angle brush. I always call it my trusty angle brush. I really enjoy this brush a lot for doing this very thing. And it's such a complementary color to my skin tone that I'm not too worried about where the shadow is going. It's looking really nice. Now I'm going to intensify the color with a different brush. And this is my full coverage brush from Smashbox. And going back again in that bronzer color. And I'm just going to see how deep I can make the outer lid. Actually, outer and inner, because I think I'm going to do a halo eye today. That's kind of what's been on my mind. So I'm treating it as if it's a new shadow to make sure I get accurate placement. And we all have different eyes. I have a little tiny hole of a dip here, and most brushes like this don't get to it. So I'm going to use my multitasker brush and just get that little bit and cover that up. Otherwise, it looks like a white dot in my makeup. I never really talk about it, but today it's particularly prominent. It's still there somewhat, but not as much. Okay, I am happy with what I'm seeing right now. I'm just going to add a tiny bit here still. But I think it's looking pretty darned good. And I have a little plucking to do apparently. But that'll be later. Let's go in now with the highlighter. And I'm going to put it on the center lid. I don't do that very often, but I'm going to do that today, and I'm going to use my finger to do it. So let's see how it looks. It's a very buttery highlighter. That's what it looks like. So it's either going to end up just center lid or on the whole lid, depending on how it looks. I think I'm going to do the whole lid. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. So let's do that. I'm probably going to add to the precision with my multitasker brush, but I want to use my finger first to distribute the product all over. That's quite pretty. And enough so that I think I want to go on the outer lower lid as well. Trying not to go too far down. And I did go a little bit too far down, but I have a solution, which is this brush. This is the type of brush that I always use for this, to just soften up and reduce the amount of a shadow that I put under my eye. Just to make it a bit less shiny. I think this looks pretty good. Oh, and speaking of shiny, I didn't tell you what was on my lips. It is the Lisoitier from the Diamond collection from last holiday. So not 2021, but 2020. And it is called the Universal Lip Gloss. and it tastes lovely. And I did not want to come on camera with dry lips, and this feels great. Okay, now I think I've got everything I want on the eye as far as eyeshadow, and I want to do liner and mascara, and then replicate this off camera on the other eye. So let's get into the essentially black products of liner and mascara. And I'm going to use a different liner today. I'm going to use the Huda Beauty liner, which is a, it scares me a little bit because it's quite liquidy, but it does look like it gives quite a black line. So here I go with it. I have to be super, super careful, so I will not be talking. Okay, I think that worked out reasonably well. Now my eye looks quite closed because it's just the liner, but I think you'll notice when I use the mascara, and I'll use the Cils Booster XL and the Lancome Definicils as mascara, I think that you'll see that my lashes do tend to pull the eye out and open it up a little bit, and it should counteract the closing off that this does, because I don't want to do a wing with this liner. I don't know it well enough, and I don't want to wreck the look. So I will go to mascara next. As I said, I'm going to use the Cils Booster XL, and it is a mascara primer. I don't necessarily think that a primer is required. I think 2 coats of a mascara does a good job. But if you find that it is a great product for you to use primer, that's great. Now, something I'm noticing, the Huda liner made my lashes a little bit goopy. It dispenses a lot of product, and I'm a little worried that I'm going to have spidery lashes. We'll see. They're just not, I'm not able to comb through as I normally would. So I think it's the liner, because it's quite pronounced. I don't usually have that issue. Okay, so I've got 1 coat of the Cils Booster XL. And I'm going to go into the Definicils once I just give the Cils Booster XL just a little bit of time to dry. Okay, I'm ready to use the Lancome Definicils mascara. It's not my favorite mascara from Lancome, but it is the one that came in the kit this year again. In some previous kits, the Hypnose was an option in one kit. I think that was in 2019. There was the Hypnose, which is more of a volumizing mascara that was available. That is my preference. And something that has not been in the kits so far is the Monsieur Big. I really like that one as well. I got some mascara smudges in the crease. I will wait until the mascara is dry, and I'll just flake it off with a Q-tip. It works pretty well to do that, as long as we're patient and we wait for the mascara to be dry. Okay, so for the look that I have today, I think that 1 coat of mascara is going to be enough. I don't think that I need to go super heavy, especially since they feel a little bit clumpy. I think that I'm just going to do 1 coat and be done. So given that's the case, I'm going to go offline and do the other eye the same as I've done with this one. And I'll come back on camera to take care of the lipstick, because I am going to be using the lipstick that came with the kit this year, which is the 132 Caprice. And it is a cream lipstick. It's a very comfortable lipstick. The one thing that I'm going to use that is not Lancome is this guy, which is an Estée Lauder red, and it is the Red 07, and I'm going to use it just because the lipstick I just showed you from Lancome is very creamy, and I don't want it to start migrating off where I want it to be on my face, given I'm doing a number of other videos. So let me get the other eye done, and we'll take care of lips next. Okay, my eye look is done. One thing that I did that I did not talk about on camera was I actually ended up extending that kind of goldy rose highlighter all the way to the inner lid, because I just find that it seems to be brightening. It doesn't seem to weigh the look down, and I'm quite enjoying it. I'm going to go back into my brush here, and though I really like the bronzy look, I think I do want to put this blush on. I had talked about it earlier in the video, and I'm going to follow through. Ooh, that's a lot. Okay, I just tapped off some of the excess, and I'm just going to dab first, see how, oh boy, yep. Let me just put some on both cheeks here. It's a little bit much. Okay, and back over here. Oh, I know this about it already, but it does dissipate quite well. I just didn't, oh no. Oh no. I just put the end of the brush into the highlighter, but luckily highlighters press back down and no harm. I just got a little bit on my finger, but the highlighter is back to normal. It's all good. Highlighter is good that way. They tend to be more putty-like in some cases than other things. Okay, so I do think I want to do a little bit more of the blush now that I'm not quite as sheepish about it, because it does distribute very well. And something that I knew about this blush, but you know, when you get a fair amount of color on the face, it just kind of, I don't know about you, but it makes me panic a little bit. Worried about not being able to diffuse it, and some blushes are like that, where you just cannot get what you've put on your face off your face. Now, something that bothers me is the redness around my nose, and that's just the way my nose is. I've got those little veins around my nose. So I'm going to use a concealer really quickly. It's the Maybelline Fit Me. In this case, it's a bit too dark, but it is the 25 medium. Not quite sure why way back when I picked that particular color. I may have been more tanned. That's quite possible. So I have foundation on, and hopefully they will play nice together. It's winter, so and it's quite cold where I am, and so having to redo concealer around my nose is kind of a given throughout the day. Okay, I took care of my nose. I'm going to go into my highlighter brush. This is the Sephora Pro Featherweight Blending Brush, and I really like it for highlighter application, especially if you want to go light to begin with and then intensify. This brush is awesome. It's one of my favorite brushes in my whole collection. Let's go into the highlighter, and I'm just going to apply a little bit and build it up as I see fit, just on the cheekbone. Okay, that's quite pretty. It turns it, almost makes it look like a luminous blush. It works really well with the blush underneath. I'm just looking at essentially what's the final look, and I actually think it's one of my favorite looks. It might be my favorite look out of this palette, and it's the simplest, really. It would be like a go-to look for my complexion. Got a little something here. So I'm delighted. I did not expect to like it so much, and It's a super nice neutral look, which means that you can wear pretty much any color lip, which is good because I'm about to put a very, very red lip on. As I said, I'm going to use this lip liner from Estée Lauder. It is not a lip liner, obviously, from Lancome, but it is the right color to go with. Let's just do a quick check. By the way, I really enjoy this lip color because it comes in this super luxe container, and there's quite a bit of lip product in it. But just this button, push button at the top is, it really makes it an experience. Okay, first off, this guy. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I hope I'm not too low. Now, just in case the reds are not 100% alike, just to fill in my lips completely does help with that. So I've gone all out, and I probably didn't have to. But if there is a difference, you will see this red, although it is a blue red, so it should work really well. And it did. They're quite the match made in heaven, looks like. Now, I know I'm going to have a bleeding problem on this end. I went a little bit too far. Okay, I took a little bit off on that side to help me out, but this is a beautiful red. It really is. And as I said in a previous video on this red, oh, and it even has Lancome written right on it. It's super comfortable. Oh, I haven't done this yet. If you want to make sure not to get red lipstick on your teeth, this is a great trick. Learned it from Tati here on YouTube, and I'm glad she's back. Yeah, almost no red on my lips, just wiping off my finger. I mean, this is a no-brainer Christmas look. Like, if you want to have a nice face, eye, and lip. As much as I've poo-pooed the fact that there's only this quad in the Lancome kit this year, it has created 3 very nice looks for me, or helped me create 3 very nice looks. And I don't think that I would have an issue doing more looks just with this palette. As a matter of fact, I might just put it in my bag that I take over to my significant other's place, because doing these 3 looks so far has really shown me the versatility of it, despite the fact that I really don't think it was meant initially to be an eyeshadow palette. I really don't. And I'm probably going to use it more so for face products than anything else, but I do know that it does some very nice basic looks if I just want a grab-and-go single thing, along with a liner and mascara, that I can probably do whatever it is I need to do. Of course, assuming I have brushes too. I'm done. I think that it does a great look. This is look number 3. Like I said, I've given this quad a pretty darn good run, and I would endorse it for basic looks that, as far as my skin tone, they've all been flattering, and the last one, look number 2, was downright cute. I really enjoyed it. Pink with a little shimmer. It was kind of cute. So yeah, it does get my seal of approval, so to speak. And I do hope, though, because I'm still chastising Lancome, I do hope you go back to a proper eyeshadow palette and face palette next year, because this was kind of BS. I still think that, am I making the best of a bad situation? For me as a consumer, I consider this set bad compared to your previous year's Lancome. Am I making the best of a bad or not so great situation? Yes. Yes. And can you make it work? Absolutely. It is just subpar compared to what we are used to receiving, and for the same price. So yeah. Anyway, that is it from me. You've heard my disappointment in the previous video as well. So I'll stop talking about it. I hope you enjoyed the look. I hope you enjoyed the chit chat. And with that, I'll say thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it every single time. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. But for now, take care.